Shares of Tech Mahindra hit a new all-time high after the company announced a share buyback. The BPO operator plans to repurchase up to 2.1% of the total paid-up capital at 950 per share. To discuss this in more detail, we are joined by Manoj Bhat, the CFO of the company. Also, we have Agam Vakil from our research team to take us through the entire conversation. Agam, over to you.
Thanks for that, Darshan. And Manoj, thank you for joining us and taking the time out. Some very few quick questions. Firstly, if you could tell us about the considerations that the board had made while coming up with a price of around 950 rupees per share, as well as just about 10% of the shareholders' equity, and why not more or less? Can you tell us a little more, give us a little more details?
Thank you, Agam. So I think from our perspective, first of all, I think it is this buyback is a means of rewarding shareholders who have stayed with us. And clearly, we had said in the past that from an overall capital policy, we will return excess cash to shareholders. And so our maiden buyback, I think the reason we chose a route, which is the tender route and 10%, is that we wanted to start off in a manner that it is equitable and proportionate. And if you look at, obviously, there are enough precedent examples of what buybacks are happening at what premiums and so on and so forth. And we wanted to make sure that it is rewarding for shareholders to participate in this buyback offer. I think those were some of the considerations. I think from a overall capital policy, I think we look at buybacks plus dividends as a combination of returning money to shareholders, and that's something which we will continue into the future.
So based on your answer then, because this is your first buyback, can we also expect more buybacks to come through in the following years to come as well?
So I think in terms of obviously buybacks, I think it is a fair and efficient way to return money. And so from an overall return policy, I think we would intend to keep this as a continuous feature going forward.
Okay, Manoj, in the past couple of years, your dividend payout ratio has varied a little bit here and there. My question then is, does that substantially change your dividend payout ratio from here on as well, considering the buyback?
So the dividend payout policy is obviously a function. So I think stepping back, I think obviously we will reevaluate the need for capital at various points in time. So I think the second thing we had said is, since we had excess cash, I think we are returning that through the buyback. And in terms of the dividend plus buyback, I think you should see that ratio obviously has been increasing over a period of time. If I look at the last year, we returned about 46% of profits and 60% of free cash flows. And so clearly that's something we would like to keep in mind as we go forward also. And our cash flows and operating metrics around conversions have also been improving. So with all of that, I think we should obviously see a combination of dividends and buybacks. And we don't have a fixed percentage in mind, but as I said, the guiding principle is that we will not keep excess cash.
Okay, then Manoj, a final question then. If you leave aside the buybacks and the portion of cash for dividend payouts, where does that leave you when it comes to, your allocation towards capital expenditure, and secondly, any potential acquisitions that you may have in the horizon?
So when I mention all of these numbers, of course, I'm factoring in CapEx, because free cash flow, the way we calculate it at least, includes CapEx. So that's not a factor. So then the second question is capital allocation towards M&A. And as we speak, I think we are managing both. And if I look at the last 2-3 years also, we have managed M&A as well as increasing payouts, drive on the back of improved performance in the business and improved conversion ratios. So to me, I think we will have to think of it as managing both, and that's something we will strive towards. And M&A will continue to be a core part of our strategy.
Okay, fair enough. We'll leave it at that. Manoj, thank you so much for taking the time out and speaking to us on Bloomberg Quint on the buyback. Thank you.